You said in your address a phrase that stood out to me, that we're living in a world now where brutality prevails. What is working right now to prevent that?
Well, one reason we are here is to prevent that, just to talk to other nations and to make sure, first of all, that United Nations works, and with that we can also help to make our world better. As you see, as you mentioned, I mean, there's brutality everywhere. There are more than 40 conflicts in the world, and I don't think that UN has done this task very well. So we need some changes, also how we work and where you work and so forth.
As it relates to the war in Ukraine, which you call the greatest disturbance to the international order in the 80-year history of the UN, you say now is the time for economic pressure. The US has still not applied that additional pressure. Did you hear anything from President Trump here to make you believe he's ready to apply the pressure?
I guess if you listen to his talk and his statements, you realize there's some kind of shift happening. So it's probably because President Trump did understand that the talking with Putin, it doesn't go anywhere. So, and of course, talking with Zelensky, he probably understood that we need to do something more. And also senators from US were also in Estonia, and we talk about the sanctions, and they asked also whether Europe is going to support this. As I said, of course, yes. So we should stick together and put these sanctions work.
The phrase in President Trump's social media post stood out to me, that Ukraine can win with the help of the European Union. He didn't say with the help of the EU and the US. Do you believe he is handing you the football, as they say?
Well, the football has also been there. I mean, because European Union and European countries have been supporting Ukraine. And it's not only politically and humanitarian aid, but also militarily. So, and of course, we probably should have started earlier. More pressure on Russia. But nevertheless, it's not late anymore. So it's not late still. So we should work together.
Work together, but do you believe the U.S. will work together with you, or that President Trump is saying it is up to you? Europe, it's your problem.
No, I don't think it's only up to you, up to Europe. It's up to us. It's up to Western world. It's not only it's not a war against Ukraine or against Europe. Mm-hmm. It's against Western world. It's against our beliefs and so forth. So it also matters for United States and the global community in general.
Estonia is very close to Russia. It is vulnerable to Russia. Estonian leaders have talked for some time about increasing defense from the Russian threat. Can you describe to me the feeling in Estonia as armed Russian jets flew into your territory? Was it a shock?
No, not really, because it's not the first time. Of course, there was 12 minutes in our territory, but there has been, somebody has counted from 2003, there are more than 83 these kind of violations. So now we probably decided it's enough, so we should do something. And if you combine this also with drone attacks to Poland and Romania, also shadow fleet, I mean, going up and down on Baltic Sea, we should probably decide that wider international community should also know what's happening, first of all, and second, to get some support.
Do you envision that it's a genuine possibility that NATO aircraft might engage Russian aircraft and shoot them down if they were to violate airspace again?
I mean, what we should do just to prevent these kind of things. It's not to decide what do we do, because every occasion is different. I mean, it's different whether it's on sea, it's different whether it's on land. So, but what I had to do is to prevent these kind of violations. And this was the aim of also putting this on the agenda of Security Council.
Another issue of apparent disagreement between the U.S. and its European allies is on not just climate change policy, but the very existence of climate change. Because President Trump, in his address, he called it the greatest con, questioning whether the science is real. What was your reaction to hearing those words?
Well, President Trump has said it before. It's not, again, it's not first time. But me being as a former scientist, I look at it maybe in a different way. I mean, we should develop these new technologies. And this probably does help to make some changes.
What helps to make some changes?
To develop new technologies, I mean clean technologies and so forth.
But he's saying that that's all a waste of money.
Well, it's President Trump's opinion, but I also have an opinion. So, but we all see that there are changes in climate, and it's not a question of weather, but it's a question of climate. And if you talk to especially small islands in Pacific Ocean, so they have completely different opinions. So we know in real life what's happening.
Yeah, we heard those words from, for instance, the Indonesian leader talking about the threat. In all my visits to Estonia, and I've been able to visit there a number of times, it's always impressed me how advanced Estonia is technologically. And you spoke, as some other leaders, including Zelensky, spoke about the advance of artificial intelligence and the need for some kind of guardrails for that technology. What kind of cooperation is necessary today?
Well, of course, I mean, you need some guidelines, you need some regulations, because, and then again, every technology has its limits. So it doesn't develop, forever. So that means, because my background is biotechnology, it happened also in 70s and 80s. The biotechnology, the same, people are very afraid we're going to clone all people and so forth. But you see, I mean, the regulations, rules, laws, and also technology, as we see, has its limits. So we have to use the best of these technologies, and the same applies to AI. So, and we have to use it wisely. That's why we in Estonia started a new program. That means to teach teachers and students how to use this AI at schools, at home, and in public services.
Final question, do you leave New York following this meeting with more confidence in America's relationship with NATO and with Europe, or do you leave with questions about the strength of that relationship?
I mean, there are always questions, but I do believe, because as I mentioned several times before, we should stick together, and for us, transatlantic collaboration is very important, and vice versa. I mean, it's also important for US. So we should collaborate more closely. So I do believe that things are getting better.
President Karis, thanks so much for joining. We appreciate it.
Thank you.